In this video, you're going to upload your website to the server and share it with the world. Now, before doing that, you're going to explore features which come with your hosting package. So this is the page where we left after placing the order. You can always get back here by clicking on the home link. Now, if you go to your active products and services and click on the web hosting link to your domain or subdomain, you will land here. So if you scroll down, you'll find some quick shortcuts to the control panel and your billing overview. Now, the billing cycle might show something different here, so you don't have to worry. It might take a short while for it to turn to a free account. Now, to access your cPanel, you just need to log in to cPanel. And here it is. So the control panel is what you're going to use to manage your different websites. So this includes managing your files using the file manager, your FTP accounts, your databases, and so on. So let's have a look at the file manager. So this will show you the different folders and files that you've got in your hosting. So if you click on the public HTML, that's the folder where we're going to place all the files that we want to be visible to the web. So you can create a file, edit it, and so on. But we're not going to use this to manage our files. We'll use an FTP tool, which is going to be more user-friendly. And for that, you're going to need an FTP account. So FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. And that's what we're going to need to exchange files between our computer and the server. So if you click on FTP accounts, you can add an account if you like, but there is a built-in account which you'll find right there. So if you click on Configure FTP Client, you'll find settings of the account, and also you can use one of these configuration files if you want to use one of these FTP tools. Now, what will follow is an update of the original video where we used FileFTP to exchange files between our computer and the server. Unfortunately, FileFTP stopped working recently, so we have to find an alternative. Now, all these are really good alternatives. You can choose any one you like. I'm going to go for FileZilla for now. It works both on Windows and Mac. So, FileZilla is very similar to FileFTP. So, in the next videos, whenever you find FileFTP, just use FileZilla instead, and you should be fine. So, to install FileZilla, you need to download it from the FileZilla website. So just go to FileZilla, or just Google FileZilla like that, and go to the FileZillaproject.org and download the FileZilla client. So I'm going to go for the basic one. So you just need to follow the installation process and you'll get FileZilla installed on your computer. Now, if I double click on that, it's going to start the installation. Now, I've already installed FileZilla, so I'm not going to continue with this. And just to show you something, when you start this, there are some optional offers which will install a few things on your computer. Just make sure you skip those. All right, so if you go there, just click on skip and then install only FileZilla. All right. So now once you installed FileZilla, you can open it like that. All right. And on the left-hand side, you can see files on your computer. Now on the right-hand side, we don't see anything because we haven't connected yet to any server. All right, so now we need to connect to the server. So to do this, you click on the configuration file link, and this will download the file on your computer. So just save it. And then you go back to FileZilla and you go to File, Import. And you go to the location where you downloaded that XML file and you double click on it. Okay, and just click OK. So import successful, OK. All right, so now if you want to connect, you just go to File, Site Manager, and you select your site. So I've got twice there because I've already installed it and I've done that again. So I'm going to delete one of these. Okay, and now you just click on connect and it's going to ask you for a password. So this is your cPanel password. So to get your password, you can just go back to your clients area, go to your email history, and then go to your hosting details message. And here you will find your cPanel details and your password is just there. Okay. So you may get a warning like this. You don't have to worry about that. Basically, the host name here is the complete webhosting.com, and we are using another domain here, and it's saying that the host name does not match the certificate. So you don't have to worry about this. Just say always trust certificates in future sessions and click on OK. So now we are connected to the server and you can see the files in the server. Now, if you go to public HTML, that is the folder where you will place files which you want to make available to the world. So any files that you place there are going to be visible to your users. So when you click on a folder there, you see the content right here. Okay, so on the left hand side, I'm going to go to my desktop. So I'm going to go to users, Dev Island, and my desktop is right there. So I'm going to open the complete web development course folder. So let's just make this bigger so that you can see the names clearly. So now I'm going to upload this file to the server. So you need to make sure that you've got the right location open, and to upload the file, you can just drag it and drop it like that. So this file now should be sitting on the server in the public HTML folder, meaning that it's available for users to view. So to access the file, I need to go to my domain or subdomain, which is code.ofucode.co.uk, followed by the location of the file. So if you type your domain like that, then you will land here, and that's the content of your public HTML folder. If you want to view helloworld.html, you can click on it or type /helloworld.html, because that's the direct location of the file or the location of that file. If I had the file placed inside a folder, so if I create a directory and call it folder, for example, and then drag my file and place it inside that folder, then to access helloworld.html, I would have to type the new location, which is /folder/helloworld.html. So for now, let's put it back where it was. Or just let's delete this. And upload our file again. So this should work. Now, if you want to make sure that whenever your users type your domain name, they land in the contents of helloworld.html, you just change the name of helloworld.html to index.html. So if you've got an index.html file inside a folder and you try to access that folder, then you're going to land in the content of that index.html file. Okay. Now, a very important note about your domain or subdomain: when you place the order, your domain or subdomain is not going to be available instantly. It takes a few hours, up to 48 hours, normally just a few hours to be available. So in the meantime, you will need to use an alternative URL which is provided to you in this email. So if you scroll down and you go to uploading your content, you'll find your temporary web page. So you just use that URL instead of the domain in the meantime, and until your domain becomes available. Okay. Now, a quick note about name servers. If you own a domain already and you want to use it with this hosting, you just need to go to the website where you bought the domain and update your name servers to these two, so that your domain points to this hosting. Okay. All right. So now if you go to FileZilla, you can open files on the server directly from here. So to do that, you can just right click and then click on View Edit. Now, this should open in brackets if brackets is set as your default text editor. Okay. Now, if not, you will need to go to FileZilla settings and change that. So to do this, you just go to FileZilla settings and then file type associations. Now, if you tick this box or checkbox, inherit systems associations, that means that FileZilla is going to use the same settings of your system, meaning that if brackets is your default text editor on your computer, then FileZilla is going to open brackets or open files using brackets. Okay. So this is the way I recommend. So for example, if you are on a Mac, you can set brackets as your default text editor by going to any HTML file. So let's say that we want to set brackets as our default text editor to open HTML files. So to do this, I'm going to right click on the file and go to Get Info. And then in Open With, you just choose brackets. And then you click on Change All. So if you do this, then all HTML files on your computer are going to be opened by default using brackets. And in FileZilla, if you've got this ticked, then it's going to inherit that from your computer and it's going to open any HTML file using brackets. Okay. Now, there is another way you can specify for each extension. So for example, on Windows, if you don't have brackets as your default text editor opening HTML files, you can write the extension HTML, then look for the location of brackets on your computer. Normally you'll find it in C program files, and then you write the location there, and then after that you write open. And then if you want to add another extension, so for example extension PHP, you just do the same thing and you copy the location again like that, and this way you are sure that whenever you click on the edit button, you'll have the file open using brackets. Okay. So for now, I'm going to just inherit the system's associations. So if I click on edit, then the file gets open using brackets. All right, so now if you want to change the file, you can change it directly from here. So if I add anything here, I'll make changes. Then if I go to the website, now you won't see any changes there. But if you go to FileZilla, you'll find a message asking you to confirm whether you want to upload the file back to the server. So this is a safety measure that FileZilla comes with. Unfortunately, there is no easy way to get rid of this, so you really need to confirm every time you save your file in brackets that you want to upload those changes to FileZilla or to the server. So I'm going to confirm that, yes, without deleting the local file. And then I'm going to go to the website, and here you go. You can see the changes now. Now, just to clarify, the file you see there is a copy of the file that you downloaded from the server. So the way it works is FileZilla will download this copy, you make changes to this copy, and then once you confirm the upload, then FileZilla will upload this new file and replace the old file. Okay? Now, changes that you make sometimes may take some time to appear, and that's because of caching. So when a page is visited on a web server, the web server usually keeps a copy of that web page so that the next time another user asks for that web page to be served, they just serve the copy straight away. And this reduces loading time significantly. So when you are developing a project, you don't want to download the copy, you want to download the changes instead. So to do that, you need to disable caching. So to disable caching, you can add a file called .htaccess to your public HTML folder. And then if you open this file, you can add one line of code inside. So you noticed here that we're not using brackets, and that's because we didn't set brackets as the default program for this type of files. And we don't have to worry, as you're not going to be editing this type of files often. So to get that line of code, you just need to go to the complete web hosting, caching.txt, and you get the line from there. Okay, so I'm going to save and then confirm the changes. Okay. And now caching is disabled. And if you make any other change, you should see the changes instantly. So let's confirm the change in FileZilla. And then here we go, you can see the changes there.